Alrighty guys, what's going on everybody? Welcome back here to another live stream, my friends. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day so far. Happy June 25th. Hope everyone's doing good. So today's a pretty important day in the weather world of things, I should actually say. There is an event that is kicking off today, kind of weather related. I want to go ahead and say this. They're launching a rocket today, and we are taking up GOES 19, which is a brand new weather satellite. So the satellite that we're currently looking at, I believe this is GOES 16 data, and I'm pretty sure GOES 19, the one that's launching, is going to replace the satellite that we are currently looking the information at. So we are going to have a brand new satellite, hopefully, up there today. I just want to go ahead and mention that in case you didn't know. It's pretty cool. But what's up, everybody? Let's go ahead and see who we got here today. We got ourselves... Oh, first of all, Crystal, thank you for the $1 super chat. And before the stream started, I appreciate that. So we got ourselves Crystal. We have Indiana. We have Caleb. We got ourselves Big T. We have... let's see here. We have Mark. What's up, Mark? Hope you're doing good, my friend. We have Ponderosa. We have, let's see here, Mike. We have Allison. We have, let's see here, Dusty Ray. We got ourselves Jalen. We have the Odd One. And of course, everybody else who is joining us. And obviously, if I accidentally missed somebody, sorry. But I hope you guys are doing good today. So we got ourselves a pretty widespread threat today regarding severe weather. We do got ourselves a level 2 threat. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the satellite for a moment. So we got ourselves a level 2 threat here for today. So we have that threat going all the way from southern South Dakota, shooting through portions out there in like Nebraska, portions of Kansas. Let's see here, portions of Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, and portions of Ohio. So we're going to have to watch out for a bit of severe weather today. Now, the main driver today is going to be damaging winds out of this storm here today. That is going to be the main concern for today's severe weather here. Let's go ahead and hop over here to the tornado threat real quick. So this is today's tornadic probability. We got ourselves a 2% chance, which is a low-end tornado threat for today. So there's a possibility of a couple tornadoes ranging throughout portions of southern South Dakota, portions of kind of central and eastern Nebraska, central southern Iowa, a little sliver of northern Missouri, and a little sliver of northwestern Illinois. So across that dark green region, there's a possibility we could get a couple isolated tornadoes today. Tornadoes is not the main ingredient for today. Now, like I said, in terms of damaging winds, that's kind of where it takes the cake here. We got ourselves a 15% chance out there for some damaging winds ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour. Not as crazy as it was expected last night. Last night's storm was pretty brutal. I didn't see any reports of tornadoes yesterday, so I think that's good. Well, it is good if there wasn't any. I'm not entirely sure, but anyways, for today, yeah, 15% chance, the greatest probability across the yellow, and then, of course, a 5% chance for damaging winds across the dark brown, so a little bit, obviously, lower threat across the brown areas here. Tabletop, dude, thank you so much, man. Coming in with a $2 super chat. I appreciate it. Saying, any thoughts on Thursday? All right, give me 1 second. We'll get to it. But yeah, anyways, hopping over here to the hail side of things. We do got ourselves a bit of a significant hail threat today, actually. For that, I'm going to hop over to this program here. Overall, so for today's hail threat, we do got ourselves a significant risk for hail. So out there towards, like southwestern Iowa, portions along like northeastern Nebraska, as well as, out there towards like central South Dakota, we got ourselves a hatch risk, which is a significant threat for severe hail in this case. So across that, that black netted area, we always say, across that netted area here, we got ourselves a potential of seeing some hail, 2 inches in diameter and larger. So possibility of some really big hail today out in those regions there. So yeah, yellow is a 15% chance of it happening within 25 miles of your location. And across the brown, there's a 5% chance here overall. So that is kind of what we are seeing here. All right, Tabletop, I got you real quick, man. So you said for Thursday, that would make it day 3. There's just a thunderstorm threat. No severe weather is expected. So you, my friend, are good. Yeah, nothing going on Thursday. Today being Tuesday, nothing, tomorrow, nothing. And of course, day 3, nothing for you. So yeah, you're good, man. Actually, tomorrow, guys, we might have to do some coverage across the Mid-Atlantic, actually. Got ourselves a little bit of a slight risk tomorrow for like Northern Virginia, portions out there. And obviously, we have ourselves... let's see here, Pennsylvania, areas out there towards, New Jersey, and southern New York State. We'll have to keep an eye out there for it. Let's see here. What's up, Emmanuel? Hope you're doing good, my friend. What's up, Andrea? Hope you're doing good. What's up, Ghost Wolf? Hope you're doing good, my friends. Hope y'all are doing well. So let's go ahead and hop over to the models, guys. We're going to take a look at the timing and just the overall ingredients here in place here for today. So let's go ahead and hop y'all over here to the models. We're going to take a look at the latest HRRR run, which is the 15 Zulu model run here. So later on down in time, we're kind of expecting a bunch of widespread potential severe weather to start kicking off around 23 or 0 Zulu, roughly. So that's going to be right around 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern time. So obviously this is in the central time zone, so we'll have to subtract an hour. So this will be happening right around 6 or 7 o'clock Central Time. That's when the models estimate these storms to start firing off here. As you can see, it kind of is a widespread, scattered severe weather potential. A couple, potential supercells included. We could have a couple isolated tornadoes, as we mentioned today, more up in these areas here. So a couple of these guys possibly could produce, maybe a spin-up tornado or two. So we'll have to watch out there for that. But yeah, main concern is damaging winds. So this will be happening, overall a widespread area. So we're expecting, widespread storms to start firing off here. So then we work our way over here into 02 and 03 Zulu. So as we approach our way actually towards 04, that would be, hold on a minute. That would be midnight Eastern. So that would be 11 Central. So for you guys, this would be 11 o'clock p.m. And once again, we might have an overnight threat as well, possibly carrying some damaging wind gusts. It kind of seems to be the main concern. Now, out of those big storms that are expected to fire off across like Iowa and stuff, remember, they're actually in that significant risk for hail, which makes the possibility out there, of seeing some of those hailstones, potentially being like 2 inches in diameter and larger. So that netted area there we were talking about, in western Iowa, portions of Nebraska, as well as like southern South Dakota, there is that possibility, with those storms that do fire off, that there could be some really big hail today. So we'll have to watch out for that. And once again, we are talking potential golf ball size hail and larger today. So we're definitely seeing the potential for some pretty big ice chunks falling from the sky out of some storms. So have to definitely look out there for that. Now, some of the regions actually included in that threat, I believe Lincoln. I want to say Lincoln, Nebraska is just shy of it. Okay, so this includes Omaha, though. So hopping back over here, yeah, so for the hail threat today, Omaha is included in that significant threat overall. Lincoln's in that 15% non-sig, so mostly hail around 1 to 2 inches in diameter out there. But yeah, 2+ in that that black circled area here with those dashed lines. So that is where we could see the really big hail stuff for today. So, anyways, but let me take a look at some of the vitals, we'll go ahead and say, of the storm here, the atmosphere, I should say. So for today, we pretty good amount of instability. I ain't gonna lie. There's a pretty good amount. As I typically say, for a nice severe weather event, you typically want at least 1,000 joules per kilogram of instability. Which, that's enough energy, enough, storm fuel to get some organized severe weather really going, and overall could produce a pretty nice event. Now, whenever it comes to today, according to the HRRR here, we are seeing about 3, maybe upwards of pockets of 4,000 joules per kilogram of instability. So that's, about 3 or 4 times the amount you really need for organized severe weather to start really kicking off. So bottom line, there's a lot of energy in the atmosphere again today. So there's a possibility for some really strong storms out there. You can see those values going all the way through Nebraska, through Iowa. That's where, we're going to probably see some of those bigger storms. And of course, as we approach our way into tomorrow morning, the instability kind of dies out, and overall the storms will as well. There could be still some storms going on, post midnight, which is expected to, but when it comes to, like early morning, just right before sunrise, those storms should be mostly gone and dismantled at that point. But yeah, overall, pretty good amount of instability. Let's see, the RAP model also agrees on that, showing a lot of energy in our atmosphere, once again ranging between 3,000 and 4,000 joules per kilogram. In terms of NAM, this one shows a little bit more, somewhere up to 5,000 in some areas. So there's a lot of instability out there, my friend. So we're going to have to watch out there for that. So yeah, all the models, here's NAM, 3 kilometer. This one also shows that as well. I got a new severe thunderstorm watch. Interesting. Okay. We'll look at that here in a second. But yeah, so a lot of instability overall is the verdict here. Now, when it comes to our lower level winds for tornadic activity, we do have ourselves a little bit of a low pressure system. You can kind of see that counterclockwise circulation. So, for example, we have some heightened winds out there in eastern Kansas, northeasterlies. So what's going to end up happening here is that, as we approach later on tonight, we could have a little bit, a little bit of a tornadic threat. Like I said, 2% chance. We have a very mild lower level jet stream today. So that's good. So when it comes to tornadoes, if we do get tornadoes, that means they'll probably not be anywhere near significant. Meaning that they'll probably be weak tornadoes today. So while we do have, we do have that little low out there in eastern Nebraska, kicking up some lower level winds of only about 20-25 knots, which that's only supportive of some low end tornadoes, perhaps a brief touchdown, not expecting anything long tracked with that type of kinematic activity there. So basically, lower level winds are not super strong, which is going to contribute to weaker tornadoes today. Now, when it comes to the mid-level winds, so at our middle atmosphere here, I got about 40 knots. Nothing spectacular. It's just enough to really get those storms organized and get things going. So overall, when it comes to it, there could be some pretty nice organized storms, especially with hail like we were talking about out there, as there is going to be a pretty good shot out there for some hail overall. So, yeah, we'll definitely need to be watching out for hail today. I think that's one of the main concerns. Following that damaging wind threat, and like I was saying, maybe perhaps maybe a tornado or two that could develop on the eastern side of that low that we have positioned out there. So overall, tornadic activity, don't worry about it, guys. I wouldn't definitely worry about tornadoes much today. Let's go and hop on back over here. So like I mentioned, with the tornadic probability today, these areas in the dark green, or that green area, this is where a few isolated tornadoes are possible. Okay, so out there towards southern South Dakota, places out there in northeastern Nebraska, places out there in central and southern Iowa, a little sliver, like I said, of northern Missouri, and a little bit of northwestern Illinois. Once again, maybe a tornado or two could drop somewhere in that region today there overall. So let's go ahead and talk timing, guys. Let's go and take a look at the timing. First of all, actually, let me bring up our day one outlook here so you can kind of see where the risk area is overall. But yeah, let's talk timing. So we're taking a look at the NAM 3K. We'll also compare this to the HRRR as well. If you guys want to follow along in time, it is in the top middle part of the screen. You guys can see it. So today's event, we're kind of expecting those storms to fire off a little bit later today than they typically would. So obviously regarding today's initiation, you can kind of start to see maybe some storms firing off here right around 7 p.m. Eastern. So that would be right around 6 local to these areas here, okay? So right around the central time zone. This is all central time here. This would be right around 6 for you guys, roughly, according to the NAM here. So as we progress way down in time, we're just going to see a bunch of scattered storms firing off, right around sunset. Those are going to persist into the late evening and potentially there towards right around midnight or so. It potentially is a line, of storms that actually works its way down. So we're kind of starting off as a bunch of, semi-discrete cells, some cells here and there, just a lot of scattered storms. And then, of course, as we progress our way down in time, this kind of turns its way into a line almost of storms there. And that's where I kind of think that wind damage threat is going to be the highest, is once it's in that straight line mode. Of course, I'm not saying there's going to be no damaging wind threat in the in that single and multicellular mode. I'm not saying that, which there will still be potentially damaging winds. Now, at that point in time, though, I would be more concerned about the hail aspect of things and tornado aspect of things. Once you got those single cells, that's whenever your tornadic activity and your hail activity seems to be the highest. And then, of course, once it develops into a line there, that's when it can still produce all hazards, but when it comes to it, I think I think the damaging winds at this point in time. So obviously for like late or actually early morning tomorrow, this would be midnight for you guys in the central time zone. So, when it comes to it, damaging winds, that's kind of what we're talking about. So yeah, storms are expected to fire off maybe around 7 o'clock Eastern, so 6 for you guys. There's a bunch of scattered storms there. Line forms right around the late evening for today, between 9 and 11 p.m. today. We're going to start to see, a little bit of a line kind of develop there, rolling through Des Moines, right there around like 8 or 9 o'clock Central Time, roughly. Remember, these are rough estimates here, guys. And of course, rolling down into northern Missouri, possibly there right just before, if not right around midnight for you guys. That's kind of when we're expecting that line of storms to kind of roll across that region there overall. Let's see, Indianapolis. Yeah, so Indianapolis will potentially get a little bit of cell activity. It does look like it's going to be pretty late, maybe around like 1 o'clock. Actually, this will be, I think you're in the Eastern time. Could be wrong. I know that Dateline's right in this area, so I'm not entirely sure if Indianapolis is Eastern or Central. So you probably know that. So that would be 2 Eastern. If you're in Eastern time, it would be 2 o'clock, roughly, remember. Maybe slightly before, or 1 o'clock Central, once again, roughly. So, models, like I said, they're not perfect with timing. They probably never will be. But, overall, that's what this model suggests. Now, let me compare that. Like I was mentioning, it's always a good thing to compare models. It's never a good thing to be biased against one model. So, it's very, very important in meteorology to look at all of the inputs, so that you're not giving a bad take on the forecast. So that's why we're hopping over to the HRRR. This is another high-resolution model run here. So whenever it comes to it down in time, obviously right now we've actually had we have a little bit of storm activity out there by Illinois currently. Actually, let's go ahead and hop on over there for a minute. So if we hop over to the Illinois radar, we have actually a handful of severe thunderstorm warnings, or a couple of them. So we got actually getting some reports out there of 60-mile-an-hour winds. But yeah, we got a pretty strong storm out there in central Illinois. We got a pretty nasty gust front on it too ahead of it. You see that? See that long noodle there? That's a gust front. So what's happening is the cooler air from the storm is pushing out under the storm there, and obviously causing a bit of winds on that line to occur. So that's probably where you're going to get some of your winds on that line there. Anyways, so yeah, we got a couple storms out there, maybe some mild, low-end severe stuff. Quarter hail reported and 60-mile-an-hour winds reported. That's considered low-end severe storm activity. But regardless, like I said, yeah, we have some storms going on right now out in that region. That'll persist for the next couple of hours or so. But then as we approach our way right around like 7, 8 o'clock or so, that's whenever things start to blow up there. So, or that's whenever storms start to fire off. So it seems like there's a bit of agreement. So we looked at the NAM 3K and we looked at the HRRR, and both models showed that storm activity firing off right between 7 and 8 Eastern. So that would be between 6 and 7 o'clock Central time. So that is kind of when we're expecting storms to fire off. Once again, it's going to start off as a bunch of scattered cells all the way throughout portions of the Dakotas, going through the Central Plains into the Midwest. as a bunch of scattered storms. At this point, I think that the tornado threat would be the highest, as well as the hail threat would probably be the highest as well. Now this model, let's see here. Let's actually hop down to the 15 Zulu run here. 15 Zulu. So this was a previous run. So this model kind of, it really doesn't show that line like the NAM kind of shows. I've always noticed with the NAM model, it typically likes to pick out a line forming out of most severe weather events. The HRRR says otherwise. It's more of a cluster more of a cluster of severe storms kicking off out there, rather than more of a linear type of system. While the NAM showed that linear storm, the linear storm mode, this one shows it kind of isolated severe, eventually turning into like kind of clusters of storms rolling through. But yeah, we could definitely still have some strong winds and stuff like that. Both models, they do support storms happening past midnight as well. So there will be some severe weather potential out there past midnight in some of these regions here. So definitely we'll keep that one on the table there. We'll definitely have to watch out for it. Let's see here. You're very welcome, my friend. No problem. Let's see. Does the model show Thursday storms yet? Yeah. I mean, there is models that do. But like I said, tabletop, there's only a thunderstorm risk out there that's not considered a severe threat. So there'd really be no need to look at the models right there for right now. Unless if it starts to upgrade, which I'm not too sure if it will. But, regarding it right now, its current stance for North Carolina, no, there's no severe weather expected, man. You're good. No, this is not due to solar flares. Matter of fact, I think solar flares, I'm not entirely sure on this. I think they have little to no impact on the weather. Now, they impact the upper atmosphere, the upper levels, like the thermosphere, and I believe in some of those upper atmosphere layers. But since we're in the lowest, the troposphere down here, I'm pretty sure solar flares don't affect much of weather like this overall. You're welcome, Jeff. No problem, my friend. No problem at all. But yeah, guys, so if you guys want me to do some zip codes today, I'll be willing to do a little bit of zip code forecasting as we've been doing the last couple days. I want to do this to help y'all out. We're just going to be doing it, let's see, actually, you know what, I'll go over all of them for you. I'm going to pull up the 2-cam display here for you guys. That way I can have some of these other panels for your guys' viewing. But yeah, we'll do some zip codes here. I'm going to keep this on our day one outlook here, and I'll let you know like what time you can expect storms to fire off, as well as what overall threat you're in overall here. So yeah, if you want me to take a look at your zip code for today, today only, like I said, we're not doing anything further than today, then I'll look at your area, and we'll let you know what you're in store for, my friends. Go ahead and zoom out a little bit there. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get this started, y'all. Let's see. Caleb wants me to take a look at 61610. 61610. You are in Illinois, my friend. Got yourself a level 2 threat for today. So timing with the storms, obviously you kind of have some storm activity happening now. Models do pick up on maybe some more storms late this evening, early tomorrow morning. So we'll have to keep an eye out there for those. For today's threat, you are in a non-tornado threat. You're not in a tornado threat for today. You got a 15% chance of damaging winds, basically between 60 and 70 miles an hour. And hail, we have ourselves a 5% chance out there for hail, between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. Yeah, you're not in the SIG risk out there. What's up, Keto? Hope you're doing good. Mike wants me to take a look at 65340. 65340. Got you, my friend. You're in Missouri. Got yourself a level 2 threat for today. So when it comes to it, storms will probably roll in late. We could have a couple storms firing off late this evening, but we have a cluster potentially developing for like really early tomorrow, just slightly before sunrise. Is whenever maybe maybe a cluster or a little cluster of storms could roll through, according to the HRRR. Take that with a grain of salt, but just like I said, just know it's a possibility. We could get some early storms tomorrow. So. But anyway, so yeah, for your region, my friend, you're in a slight risk level 2 threat. No tornadoes today expected. In terms of damaging winds, we got a 15% chance of damaging winds being right there between 60 and 70 miles an hour in terms of wind gusts. Whenever it comes to hail, we have ourselves a 5% chance out there for hail. basically ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter, my friend. So that is your overall risk. Ponderosa, hope you're doing good, my friend. Let's see, 35801. 35801. You, my friend, are up in Alabama. Don't got yourself a severe weather threat today. You are good. Matter of fact, not even expecting any storms there in that region today. So, once again, my friend, you are looking okay. Nothing concerning. Rich wants me to take a look at 52803. 52803. This is in let's see, Davenport, Iowa. Got yourself a slight risk, my friend. Level 2 threat out there for today. We are expecting, let's see here, possible storm activity to start firing off here pretty much late evening and into early tomorrow. More than likely, your storms are going to be happening right around midnight, if not slightly after midnight, according to models. Whenever it comes to it, since you're in the nose of Iowa, like I said, you are in a slight risk out there. You do not, you're right on the edge, but you do not have a tornado threat today. That's slightly to your south and to your west. In terms of damaging winds, we got ourselves a 15% chance out there for damaging winds, ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour. And in hail on the other side, we have ourselves a 5% chance, with hail ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter overall. So that is your risk, my friend. Katz wants me to take a look here at 46356, 46356 across Indiana. Got yourself a slight risk. You're right near the edge of it, but you are in that level 2 threat, my friend, here for today. It looks like storms are going to be rolling through really early tomorrow, potentially. Yeah, it seems like post-midnight. You could see some of those storms out there. Now, for your region, you're not in a tornado threat, so that's good. You do got yourself a 15% chance for damaging winds, though, possibly between 60 and 70 mile an hour wind gusts. Whenever it comes to hail out there, we do got ourselves a 5% chance for hail ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. So that is your overall weather. Texas severe weather wants me to take a look at 75135. Alrighty, let's see here. 75135. You, my friend, are in a general thunderstorm threat, so possibility for a couple thunderstorms, but no severe storms are expected. Honestly, yeah, a couple pop-up showers and storms are possible later on this evening, but yeah, nothing concerning overall. Let's see here. Kayla wants me to take a look here at 46176, 46176 across Indiana. You, my friend, are in a level 2 threat. Got a slight risk out there. Expecting some storms to roll through possibly mid-evening and eventually possibly even another round early tomorrow morning. So basically post-midnight. So it'll be after midnight possibly. I have a couple other storms rolling through. But yeah, right now we have a little bit of storm activity out in that general region. That should be gone, though, by like maybe 7, 8 Eastern. So whenever it comes to it there, that is your overall look. But yeah, you have a slight risk out there, my friend. No tornado threat in Indiana today. So don't gotta worry about no naders. Got a 15% chance out there for damaging winds ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour. And hail on the other side, we're talking 5% chance of hail ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter overall. So that is that. Gavin wants me to take a look here at, let's see here, 43125. 43125. Got you. You're in Ohio, my friend. You have a slight risk out there in Columbus. No tornado shot for today. You got yourself a 15% chance of damaging winds ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour in terms of wind gusts overall. And hail, you got yourself a 5% chance of hail ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter there overall with that. Now, whenever storms, they're going to roll through, it looks like your storm activity could start late evening. Overall, there could be some storms tomorrow morning, too. We'll have to watch it. But, yeah, it seems like your event is going to be mostly, according to this model run anyways, showing an evening potential of maybe some storms nearby, if not over you. So that's when I would expect it. Central Illinois going to be okay? Yeah, I mean, Central Illinois should be fine. Just got to look out there for some gusty winds and maybe a little bit of hail. Not a whole lot of tornadic activity expected in Illinois today, so that's good news. Alrighty, let's see. Alright, Dusty wants me to take a look here. I'm at 61501, but I suspect you covered my area when you did Caleb's zip. 61501, 61501. This is in Illinois. Let's see. So yeah, you got yourself a slight risk, my friend. Level 2 threat. No tornadoes for you. Yeah, you're just shy of that 2%, but you're not in the tornado threat. Your main concern here is just some gusty winds ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour, as well as hail ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter, which the hail threat's a 5% chance overall for your area. Now, storm activity is expected to start firing off here kind of in the middle evening, possibly right around like 8 o'clock Central Time or so. You can start to see, this will be probably lasting for quite a while for your area, according to these model runs here, showing a lot of scattered storms in the evening and into the overnight hours. So that's when I'd expect that. Let's see here. Reika, I think your name is, wants me to take a look at Indiana for 47990. 47990. This is across Indiana. You, my friend, are in a level 2 threat. I got yourself a slight risk out there in the western side. No tornadoes today. Got yourself a 15% chance of damaging winds ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour overall. So that is kind of what we are looking at there with everything going on. So, yeah, 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gust, 15% chance. In terms of hail, you got yourself a 5% chance for hail ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter overall. Now, storms are expected to potentially fire off. We have a few storms going on near the region here, just slightly to your west right now. Got a few, chances for some storms late, or really early, I should say, tomorrow. Right there, right around midnight, maybe slightly after midnight is when you could expect some of that storm activity to roll through overall. Alrighty, let's see here. What's the risk for, let's see, Jordan says, what's the risk here for 605... 04. 60504. This is in Illinois. You, my friend, are in a level 2 slight risk out there in Chicago. Good news, no tornadoes expected for today. In terms of damaging winds, we got a 15% chance of damaging winds ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour wind gusts. When it comes to hail, we are talking a 5% chance for hail ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter overall. So the time you can expect some storms, they could actually convect as early, or I should really say as late as midnight, maybe slightly after. It seems like tomorrow morning is when you're going to get a lot of your storm potential out there overall. So that is that's your risk, my friend. All right, let's see here. Megan wants me to take a look at 62704. 62704 got you in Springfield. Got yourself a level 2 threat, my friend. No tornadoes, 15% chance for damaging wind gusts ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour. When it comes to hail, 1 to 2 inches in diameter, hail is possible. Now, in terms of things, we've had some storms been rolling through the region here over the last little bit, so there's some storms nearby right now. You're going to have another potential for some storms here pretty much right around midnight, rolling its way into the overnight hours. So that is when I'd expect to have your storm activity out there. Let's see, Rill wants me to take a look at 64037. 64037. You, my friend, are in Missouri. Got a slight risk level 2 threat out there. You're near Kansas City. You do not have a chance for tornadoes out there today. We are not looking at any tornado probability for your region today. Damaging winds, we got ourselves a 15% chance for damaging winds ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour for today. In terms of hail, 1 to 2 inches in diameter, 5% chance for hail out there overall. When you can expect your storms, it seems like some storms could convect here pretty much right there in the late evening. Although your greatest probability will be sometime kind of mid-tomorrow morning. It looks like a group of storms could eventually roll through those regions there. Alrighty, let's see here. It's a lot of talking. All right, Travis wants me to take a look here at 62379. 62379. We are out here in Illinois. Got a level, let's see here. You, my friend, I think you're actually in that 2% tornado threat. You are right on the edge of it, my friend. So an isolated tornado or two cannot be ruled out in northwestern Illinois today, and mostly for like southern Iowa and northeast Nebraska and southern South Dakota today, though. So I wouldn't worry about tornadoes, really. In terms of timing here, it looks like we could get some storms firing off here, maybe around 7, 8 o'clock or so is whenever storms will start to kick off in that region. So that is kind of what you can expect. In terms of hail, got a 5% chance for hail ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter, and damaging winds, 15% chance between 60 and 70 mile per hour wind gusts overall. All right. Let's see. You're welcome, Dusty. No problem. Brandy wants me to take a look here at 63116. Gotcha. 63116 up here in St. Louis. Got a level 2 threat, my friend. Got a slight risk out there. Storms will be expected here Um, Honestly, I mean, any time really between the afternoon and the early morning, afternoon, evening, and early morning. Um, as you can see, there's some scattered storms. Mostly in the evening time. Um, with everything rolling on here. But yeah, I think your greatest potential is going to be late tonight, early tomorrow morning with those storms. 15% chance for damaging winds, though, capable of producing 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. When it comes to hail, we have ourselves a 5% chance here for hail, ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter overall. Tornado probability is 0. We're basically not expecting any tornadic activity out of those cells overall. So that is what we are seeing out of that storm there. Alrighty. Nikki wants me to take a look here at 47438. 47438. This is in Indiana. Got a slight risk level 2 threat, my friend. So level 2. No tornadoes. Got a 15% chance for damaging winds between 60 and 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Hail. Got a 5% chance ranging between essentially, like I was saying, between 1 and 2 inches in diameter overall. So that is kind of what we are seeing here. Now, the storms are going to be happening pretty late up in Indiana today. We're not expecting hardly any storm activity this evening. Mostly going to be like tomorrow morning, post-midnight, is when I'd expect to have some of those storms. But we'll see. Alrighty. Big Ounce wants me to take a look here at 44677. Let's see here, 44677 up here in Ohio. You, my friend, are in a general thunderstorm threat. You do not have the risk for any severe weather today. You are looking good. Keaton wants me to take a look at 62899. 62899. You, my friend, are up here in Illinois. Got yourself a level 2 threat out there, my friend. No tornado threat for you. 15% chance for damaging wind gusts between 60 and 70 miles an hour. And hail, we are talking a 5% chance out there between 1 and 2 inches in diameter overall. Storm potential, you could get some storms, kind of early evening, I should say. And there's another shot for maybe some rain, early, kind of, like I said, just slightly before sunrise or right around sunrise tomorrow morning. Could be some more storms in the area overall. All right. You're welcome, Brandy. No problem. Big T wants me to take a look at 62521. 62521. You are in Illinois. A lot of people in Illinois today. Got a slight risk, my friend. Level 2 threat out there. We do not have ourselves a chance for tornadoes. 15% chance for damaging winds, though. Between 60 and 70 mile per hour wind gusts being possible. When it comes to hail, we have a 5% chance out there for hail ranging between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. So that is kind of what we are looking out there for. Big Ounce says, thanks. I swear I was in it yesterday, but I guess it got changed. Yeah, this is the latest outlook here from the Storm Prediction Center. So this is the latest and greatest that we have there. So anyways, let's see here. But yeah, so that's kind of what we're looking out there for. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and go over this again, y'all. Once again, in the big picture of things. So let's go ahead and hop our way back over here. Actually, we're going to take a look at the models again for you guys, for the people who are not here for us to look at that. So let's go ahead and dive into some model analysis here. So for today's storms, we have a pretty good amount of instability. So what I mean by instability is the fuel for these storms. The values you're typically looking for is around 1,000, slightly higher, for a decent organized severe weather event, based off of instability alone. Like I said, I mean, you can have severe weather lower than 1,000. Typically 500 plus is what you want for some severe weather. But just to show you how unstable the atmosphere is, once again, typically we want right around that 1,000 range. We are seeing about 4,000. So there's a lot of energy in the atmosphere today. A lot of potential energy, I should say, in the atmosphere today with these storms. It'll be converted into energy once those storms actually happen. But anyway, so yeah, pretty potent atmosphere, I should say, regarding our instability. Now, as we approach our way into tomorrow morning, that atmosphere instability will dwindle down a little bit. Overall, there will still be some instability, but cap will start to build in and all that stuff, which will kind of kill out those storms, like kind of just before sunrise and stuff. But yeah, regardless, good amount of instability out there, my friends. When it comes to our lower level winds, now this is what I was talking about regarding tornadic activity today. We do have ourselves a little bit of a low that's going to develop out there towards Nebraska. And it's going to be having a little bit of northeasterlies on the lower atmosphere. So our lower level winds, not quite surface, but just above the surface here, the winds are going to be moving around 20-25 knots. Now, that's not considered significant. That's considered pretty weak lower level winds. So with any tornadic activity we get, it'll likely be brief. It'll likely be low end severe. So the lower end scale, I should say. So we're not expecting any violent tornadoes today. Like I said, considering we have that, that 20 to 25 knot lower level jet, so pretty low in wind shear. Mid-level winds, like we were talking about, nothing significant either, just enough to really carry those storms, on for a little bit there. Nothing big at all, actually. The lower level, mid-level winds are actually pretty weak as well. So our winds are pretty weak. We have a lot of instability though to combat that. So then we have ourselves. Like I was mentioning here, actually, we should have looked at this earlier, but actually our dew points here, a lot of moisture. You want those dew points high for thunderstorms. It supplies a lot of moisture into those storms, and you're typically looking for around 60-degree dew points, and we're having well over 70. So there's excessive amounts of moisture available here, as well as a lot of a lot of instability, like we were talking about. And in between those, a lot of moisture and a lot of instability can create some pretty large hail, and that is what we are expecting across portions of Nebraska, like we were talking about in that significant hail threat that we have out there. Some of these regions here could see 2 inches in diameter hail and larger. So pretty good shot out there for some large hail for today. But yeah, that's kind of the look at things. Overall, whenever it comes to today, like SRH values and stuff like that, it's nothing concerning. Like I said, tornadoes today, if we have any. There's a possibility for a few of them today. But if we have any, they'll likely be weak. They'll likely be short-lived overall due to weaker wind shear and all of that stuff. Sometime with higher Cape values, it can increase those vertical winds, which can, sometimes make some decent tornadoes. But I don't expect that to really happen for today, just considering how low end our winds are. Like I said, 20-knot lower-level jet is not a whole lot to really, cause any significant or violent tornadoes overall. So that's good news. That's definitely good news. But yeah, the main concern today, like I was mentioning, though, is going to be, overall, is going to be those damaging winds and hail. Actually, hail is going to be the main problem, of course, overall there. And, with all that going on, hail will take the cake for the biggest concern, and then, of course, like I said, damaging winds shortly to follow out there overall. I'm going to grab a sounding here. We're going to grab a quick little sounding out there. Let's just go ahead and grab one for 0 Zulu. I'm going to try to avoid getting one in that storm there to contaminate it. But let's take a look here at some of the soundings. Just kind of get a sample of the atmosphere from the RAP model. Kind of see what I'm looking at here. Yeah, pretty low in wind shear overall, like I was mentioning here. Dew point's pretty good. Like I said, mid-70s is enough. Very warm temperatures out there, though. Good amount of instability throughout our atmospheres. A little bit of a cap in place here. Not too bad. So yeah, a lot of instability per se. It's a little bit of a contaminated sounding, anyways. But we're gonna get rid of that one there. Let me grab another one for right at midnight for Central Illinois. Let's just go ahead and see kind of what a sounding out there would look like from the RAP model. So Central Illinois for right around midnight tonight is looking like, drum roll, it's a bunch of low end wind shear. So yeah, our photographs are looking a little like scribbles. So like I said, tornadic activity in Illinois is not expected. The winds do not support it in our lower atmosphere, although we will have the potential for some strong storms. Definitely some pretty strong vertical updrafts, considering how much instability we have, how much buoyancy there is. Very buoyant atmosphere out there today. Cape values, downdraft energy could support some damaging wind gusts, of course, and that's what we are in for as the main concern out there in Illinois. We're going to backtrack a little bit here. We're going to go to back to HRRR for a second. Let me just kind of get an idea. So storms are expected to start firing off maybe around like 23 Zulu or so. So let me grab a sounding out here in southeastern Iowa. Just to kind of see what we're looking at here. It's always good to grab a couple soundings to kind of get an atmospheric idea out there. So yeah, really low end wind shear. Like I said, here's our column. So this is our ground level, by the way, guys. This is the surface. And this goes up to 15 kilometers, 12 kilometers, 9, 6, 7, or sorry, 96310. So 0 kilometers is our surface there. And this is representing our winds and the way they're moving. Most of the winds are moving east, as you can tell. The wind barbs are pointing east, and we're only getting up to 50 knots, and that's at 15 kilometers. The storms aren't going to be that high, or they'll be roughly that high. So yeah, the winds, like I said, in the storms, they're not really that strong, to be honest. That's good. That's good news. It'll actually help keep those storms a little more tame, per se. Let's grab another sounding for central, kind of southeastern Iowa. This is going to be before storm initiation, just so I can get a sounding. There's probably going to be a big cap in place for this sounding. Surprisingly, not really much of a cap there. Let's see. Overall with the sounding like this here, once again, still the same scenario. Pretty weak low-end wind shear throughout our atmosphere. The winds are pretty weak, which is going to keep those storms pretty low, pretty much holding them back from taking off too much. Now, the instability alone, nearly 4,000 or 5,000 joules a kilogram, that's a lot of energy. So there's this big fat pocket here of instability throughout our mid-atmosphere there. That is going to allow for some potentially, like I said, some strong vertical velocities, because think of it as a basketball in a pool. You bring a basketball down to the bottom of the pool and you let go of it, it's going to shoot up. That's what a rising air parcel would do. So a thunderstorm is trying to develop. It's that basketball in the pool that shoots up if you let go of it. So that's kind of the scenario here. And the more cape you have, the stronger potential vertical velocities you have. Because of the rising air, it's more of a violent interaction, being more buoyant, meaning it's traveling faster. So that could support some strong updrafts for those big hail events. Like I said, we typically look for hail around 700 millibar range, which is roughly around 3 kilometers. We have a lot of fat cape over there. Our lapse rates, we call them, is looking around 8.4 degrees Celsius over. So it's an 8.4 degrees Celsius change in temperatures over 1 kilometer. Around our hail growth zone. And so with that being said, that's a pretty big hail sounding, I think. I think that could definitely support maybe some pretty decent sized hail out there in Iowa, in which, those regions, like we mentioned, overall, given, the overall hail threat, we grabbed that there in central Iowa, and that's actually where we do have that beginning of the significant hail threat. That's where we have the Storm Prediction Center saying, hey, we could have hail 2 inches in diameter and larger, and that does line up. That does line up to the models. Let's see here. You're welcome, Overbuilt. No problem. Let's see here. They got a severe thunderstorm warning for an outflow boundary. Gotcha. It's probably that. Probably is for 60-mile-an-hour winds, I'd assume. Where? Where did they warn an outflow boundary? I don't see it. I do see this outflow boundary, this gust front here, but it's not severe. The only severe I see is out there by Oakland and Hinesboro in eastern portions of Illinois. There is quite an outflow boundary on that sucker, though, I tell you. Let's see, we got a little bit of a damage report apparently coming through near Springfield. A tree fell over on a power pole at East Kansas Street and South Wheeler Avenue. Was reported by a power company. Wow. So that would... Wow. Yeah, so that's a strong outflow boundary. You see that big noodle? That's some so that's that colder air. That's where your downdraft come in play. So that air that's sinking back down from our upper levels. So it's sinking down. It's sinking down there and smacking the ground, and it's allowing for first of all things to cool down a little bit, pressure to increase because you're getting more air pushing on you, which increases pressure. And because of that pressure change, it allows for the winds to be kicking up. So due to that, we have ourselves some pretty strong winds out of it. Matter of fact, this little mesonet out here towards Taylorville, Illinois, we did have ourselves before that outflow boundary hit. We did have about 10 knots of winds out there. It's about 10-15 miles an hour. But the latest scan came out around 25 knots, which is around 30 miles an hour. So there's definitely, there's definitely some pretty strong winds on that outflow boundary there. It didn't measure quite severe winds, but it did measure pretty strong winds. Pretty strong. Still a little far away from severe, though. All right, let's see here. Big T, if you want to be a moderator, if you ever want to, you can apply on our Discord. It is in the description. But anyways, but yeah, so that's what's going on there, my friends. That's kind of what we're looking at here. But if there's any final questions y'all might have here before we roll off here, I'm probably going to call it here pretty soon. Maybe in about 10 minutes or so, we're going to head off right around that hour mark for you guys. So we'll be hanging around here for maybe another 10 minutes or so. This will be a good time if you have any questions to ask them, and I would be more than glad to help out. I will be more than happy to help y'all out as much as possible. Let's see. Dusty says it's raining like crazy here in South Fulton. Is that in Illinois? I'm assuming that's in Illinois. Considering that we do have some pretty heavy rain out there. It seems like that storm is kind of breaking apart, though, a little bit. You can kind of see where the precipitation is kind of breaking up. We had some pretty solid, moderate, heavy rainfall, and it's just kind of starting to fall apart a little bit. Could be some good news out there. But yeah, like I said, all we're dealing with right now is just one severe warning in Hinesboro and Oakland area. That's just for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter hail out there. So pretty low-end stuff. Nothing too big. And like I was mentioning, guys, whenever it comes to it, overall, for today, regarding storm initiation, so when those storms are expected to fire off there, we're anticipating those storms to be firing off here right around maybe 7 Eastern, 6 Central, roughly around that time. So it's gonna be kind of a late, or kind of an early evening kind of event here today, not necessarily afternoon. So, am I gonna go live tomorrow and Thursday? Yes, I will. Dusty says, do I think that flooding will be an issue? Let's look and see. We'll take a look at our day 1 flooding outlook here. Let's see if we got anything going on. Yeah, we have a little bit of a flooding threat. It's not really where you'd expect them to be, though. So this is where our flooding threat is for today. We got ourselves a level. So the scale goes from 1 to 4 on the flooding threat. We have a level 2 at maximum, so we have a middle threat out there in southeastern Minnesota and portions out there like in southwestern Wisconsin. Got a slight risk, a level 2 severe weather threat out there. So when it comes to it, yeah, we got ourselves level 2 threat out in that region there for some flooding. That's at least a 15% chance probability of flooding happening within 25 miles of a given area. So that does include areas near like Minneapolis, La Crosse, and some of those regions there. And of course we have our level 1 threat out there in the marginal, which is the lowest end flooding threat. Overall, we do have a little bit of a flooding threat in the southwest there too. I just noticed down there towards Southern California, southern Utah, portions of Arizona, portions of New Mexico, and southwestern Colorado, with the highest risk being in southern Arizona, out there towards a Tuscan area. I got a level 2 threat for flooding out in some of those regions out there. So that is definitely interesting. So yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye out there for a little bit of flooding today. It's a possibility. Tomorrow, yeah, a bit of flooding out there as well towards the Midwest. Day 3 for Thursday, a little bit of flooding possible. All the way from the Gulf Coast up to the Northeast. So it's a low-end threat though, so it's nothing super crazy as of now. So we'll see how that plays out. Braven, let's see, 57108. 57108. Let's see what's going on for you. South Dakota, I don't think we have a severe threat today. Pretty sure you're in thunderstorm risk. Well, you know what? No, you're actually in a marginal. Look at that. You're right on the level 1 threat, my friend. So out there by Sioux Falls in southeastern South Dakota, we do have ourselves a level 1 threat. The good news is that no tornadoes are expected. That's going to be slightly to your south, where that 2% tornado risk is. See, you have yourself a 5% chance for damaging wind gusts ranging between 60 and 70 mile per hour wind gusts, and hail, 5% chance between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. Am I technically in that flooding threat in Peoria? This is Caleb. I don't know. Let me look. I don't think so. Oh, well, yeah. You're right on the edge of it. Yeah, but the odds of you getting flooding is pretty daggone low. You're welcome, Dusty. No problem. Bill says, let's see here. I hope I won't get any thunderstorms. Let's see, in Rhode Island on Wednesday around 6 p.m. Yeah, gotcha. Well, hope I hope the best for you, man. Hope the best. But anyways, y'all, we're gonna head off here in about 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So if there's anything y'all have any questions about? Feel free to let us know. Once again, I appreciate y'all joining us today. I'm gonna shoot for some coverage later tonight. I think I have like 7 o'clock. We're gonna go live around 6. Yeah, I think I'm gonna head live at 6 o'clock p.m. For you guys. So in about 4 hours, we'll go live for y'all. Streaming, I plan on streaming coverage for about 1 to 2 hours tonight. So maybe 6 to 8 o'clock p.m. we'll do some streaming for you. On tonight's event there. I want to cover at least a discrete mode somewhat, while the storms are starting to fire off, because that's when I think the biggest concern for hail and tornadoes is going to be. So that's that. Can I tell you the temperature for the rest of South Dakota? Well, I can show you the temperature now if you'd like to see it. First of all, let me go ahead and get rid of that there. Turn on MEDAR observations. There you go. So there's your current temps right now if it'll load. So Sioux Falls 81, so lower 80s. Most of the states actually upper 70s to lower 80s for the most part right now. That is where kind of where we're standing here. Tabletops to see tomorrow. Fingers crossed for no severe outlook for Eastern North Carolina. No, you're good, tabletop. Like I said, there's only a thunderstorm threat for you. No need to work your nerves up. There's a severe thunderstorm watch. Ooh, hold on a minute. Apparently, I just got a lightning detection on one of my apps here. Let me take a look. Ooh, hello, buddy. We got a storm near me. Got a storm that just fired off near my area. That's nice. Let's see here. Oh, it's heading my way too. Let's go. I hope it stays alive, dude. I have a Mesonet and I'm recording data on it. If you don't know what a Mesonet is, it's a scientific grade weather station that pinpoints accuracy. So very accurate. And yeah, here's actually my logger logging it right now. Currently pressure. Station pressure is 1,012, so we're right around 1,016 millibars roughly, right around now. But yeah, I'm gonna be logging that storm as it comes near me. I hope to get some pretty good data. Yeah, so if y'all, a little bit of a fun fact for me or for you guys, what I do on off, when I'm off to stream, sometimes I do weather research actually. I do a lot of research and study severe thunderstorms and sea breezes in Florida. That's what I typically like to do during, let's see here. Typically what I like to do, during my off season. Here's a little graph I made. This is from last night actually, and early this morning. I was measuring everything going on there. You can see how, we had the dew points there in the 75 range, and as soon as the sun came up, the dew points and the actual temperature outside diverged. And because of that, the humidity dropped. A little bit of a fun fact for you. That's kind of the stuff I do. I like to log data, and I like to do some micro analysis. As frontal passages and stuff come through. Pretty cool stuff, man. So just a little bit of a thing I do. But yeah, it looks like Central Florida, we're starting to get some storms out here. Pretty nice. It's around that time. Typical sea breeze initiated storms. It's just kind of a normal Florida thing, for this time of the year, which is nice. It's good for research season. But all right, y'all. One last call. If you guys have any questions before I roll off here, let me know. Let me know if you have any questions. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch. I said we'll talk about it real quickly. So we do have a severe watch in place right now for kind of the central, south central Illinois, central, south central Indiana areas here. We're talking maximum hail up to 2 inches in diameter out of those storms there potentially, and maximum wind gusts up to 75 miles an hour. So we're talking some potentially high winds, and obviously maybe some decent sized hail as well. Yeah, 2-inch hail is pretty large hail. So we'll see. Let's see, Caleb, you're welcome. No problem, man. You are very welcome. Glad to help out. But, alrighty, y'all. Well, once again, final calls. Going once. Going twice. Like I said, like I said again, I'm gonna try to go live tonight between 6 and 8 p.m. 6 and 8 p.m. is when I plan to stream. So I plan to go live at 6 and stream until 8 or so. Oh, or if I want to go longer, I'll go longer. It's just I'm shooting to stream at least 2 hours today with you guys. You know, like I said, an hour update live stream this early afternoon, and of course here today we'll do some coverage around 6 or so. So I am hoping to see you guys there. Hope to see y'all there. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing, leaving a like. It'd be greatly appreciated. And thank you all so much. Well, before I head off here, let me go ahead and give a big thank you to our donators. We did have we did have ourselves. Let's see here. We had 2 donators today. We had Crystal and Tabletop. Thank you guys so much for your donations. Greatly appreciated. Like I said, that fund will help go back into the channel, help pay for our programs, and help keep Andrew alive with living costs. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you all to the people who have donated. And of course, just sitting there and just supporting us, you know, just simply watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for watching. But all right, y'all. Just going to go ahead and wrap it up for now. You guys have a wonderful rest of your night, and we'll catch y'all later on. Once again, around 6 Eastern or 5 Central is when I plan to go live for you guys. So I hope to see you guys then. All right, y'all. You guys take care. We'll see ya in the next one. See you later, guys.